Days of Our Lives spoilers for the week of December 15 indicate that Sophia Choi's fake-out will be revealed while some wedding plans kick off. Theo Carver's abduction is also on the way, so there'll be some highs and lows happening in Salem. For starters, Chad DiMera's loved ones will have questions and concerns. Julie Williams left Chad a voicemail in hopes that he'd come to the Horton Thanksgiving gathering, but he'll be a no-show thanks to some kidnapping drama. Jennifer Horton Devereaux may shrug it off initially and guess Chad just wanted to give Thomas DiMera more space. Julie, on the other hand, may be more in tune with Chad and realize something is seriously wrong. Of course, it's possible the kidnapper will text a convenient excuse from Chad's phone to buy some extra time. Even so, Day's spoilers suggest Julie may pick up on some bad vibes and worry there's more to the story. It turns out Tony DiMera, Kristen DiMera, and Chad will have another DiMera family member joining them in the crypt soon. Theo will ultimately get abducted and wonder what's going on. Day's spoilers say the hostages will uncover some human bones and try to keep their minds occupied with a fascinating new mystery. Theo's vanishing act could set off some alarm bells for Abe Carver, and maybe even Jada Hunter if he misses their next potential date. Since Theo isn't the kind of guy to forget or ignore his commitments, that could raise a red flag. Once a bed opens up in the Bayview Adolescent Ward, Day's spoilers say Rachel will be taken there to begin inpatient treatment. It's necessary after the way Rachel's been acting out, especially now that her buried E.J. DiMera shooter memory has risen to the surface. Rachel needs serious help, but dual spoilers say she's about to encounter someone who could do more harm than good. Sophia will greet Rachel at Bayview and reveal she can talk despite the total trance she's been faking. It seems likely Sophia will be a bad influence on Rachel, who'll be asked to keep Sophia's secret about still being able to interact with others. As for Holly Jonas, she may lash out at Tate Black once she gets updates on his poor grades. Tate is in danger of flunking out of Salem U if he doesn't ace his finals, so Holly may scold him for not focusing on his studies enough during Thanksgiving break. Across town, Leo Stark and Javi Hernandez will have a lot to celebrate after Javi accepts Leo's marriage proposal. Javi and Leo will dive in on plans for their nuptials right away. But Dimitri von Leuschner's upcoming return could lead to problems. Days of Our Lives spoilers say the week of December 15 will bring some exciting news and tricky situations, so stay tuned. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, November 28th reveal that fans will see Chad DiMera's kidnapping while Leo Stark delivers a surprise marriage proposal. Charlotte DiMera will also face some daddy disappointment, so some shockers and shakeups are ahead in Salem. At the Hernandez house, Philip Kyriakis will attend the Thanksgiving get-together since he accepted Gabby Hernandez's invitation. That'll go well for the most part, but Gabby may get a little uncomfortable once Philip makes a speech about loyalty and people standing by him. Gabby is still keeping secrets from Philip about the dismantling of the Titan DiMera merger, so it's only a matter of time until those secrets blow up their romance. Speaking of romance, love will be in the air as Leo schemes with a special after-dinner treat. There'll be a dessert Leo cooks up just for Javi Hernandez, so there's a good chance this will be a way for him to hide an engagement ring. Regardless, Day's spoilers say Leo will indeed pop the question on Friday's Duel episode. Once Leo drops to one knee and asks Javi to marry him in front of the other Thanksgiving guests, Javi will quickly get on board. Gabi, Philip, Rafe Hernandez, and Ariana, Ari Horton, will all watch this proposal play out, so they'll help Javi and Leo celebrate once the engagement news is official. Other Days spoilers say Chad's absence will be noticeable at the Horton Thanksgiving table. Although Charlotte will make a wish for her daddy to join them, Chad won't show up in the end. Julie Williams left Chad a voicemail in hopes that he'd come home for the Turkey Day festivities. Thomas DiMera presumably won't mind that Chad's a no-show, but poor little Charlotte will be crushed. Jennifer Horton Devereaux may have to comfort Charlotte, or at least distract her on Friday's Days episode. Across town, it'll be revealed that Chad's a kidnapping victim. Chad will be left in the DiMera crypt with Tony DiMera and Kristen DiMera, so they'll all try to make sense of what's going on. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Chad will get updates on the crypt captivity crisis once he arrives, so stay tuned. Brady comes home to the penthouse, where a worried Tate wonders where his dad has been all night. Brady explains his phone died, but Marlena is okay. However, Rachel isn't. Brady tells Tate that Rachel's in the psycho ward before being moved to Bayview. Tate can't believe his sister is in that bad of condition, but Brady won't tell him much more than it's more serious than they all realized. He says they will go to the hospital later to have Thanksgiving with Marlena and Belle, and then sneak in to see Rachel. Brady also tells Tate that he and Belle have decided not to tell Marlena about Rachel until she's out of the hospital. They will simply tell her that Rachel is not well. Alex returns home with some dry cleaning for their big book trip. Stephanie is finishing up a press release, and Alex finds a box of fan mail that she says she was going to take with her and go through. Alex thumbs through them and finds one addressed directly to Stephanie, not her pen name. He opens it and yells, "What the hell?" Alex tells her this letter is messed up and reads passages from it, which sound like a lovesick stalker. Stephanie thinks it's just another crazy fan and recalls the mail he got while on Body and Soul. She insists this person is harmless, and she runs to finish packing before they go see her family at the pub. Alex pockets the creepy letter. Belle, with several bags, surprises her mom in the hospital with everything they'll need for Thanksgiving, since she's stuck there for the holiday. Brady and the others will be joining them shortly. Their talk turns to the fact that this is their first Thanksgiving without John, and Marlena says his greatest gift to her was Belle. Marlena says John lives on in everyone in their family who loved him. Brady and Tate stop in to see Rachel, who has been given a sedative and is asleep. Brady suggests Tate go to see Marlena, but Tate thinks his dad needs to go and tell Grandma what is going on, as she'll be even more upset to find out later on, and that she couldn't be there to help. Brady agrees to see Marlena and decide if she's well enough to handle the truth. Brady soon arrives in Marlena's room, and she asks about Rachel and Tate. Brady claims Rachel isn't feeling well, and Tate is with her. When Brady and Belle name different ailments for Rachel, Marlena makes it clear that this situation is more stressful than whatever they are keeping from her. Brady comes clean with Marlena about the pistachio incident, which triggered Rachel's memory of shooting EJ and her having a mental break. Brady says Rachel is being moved to Bayview once a bed opens up. Marlena wishes she had realized Rachel was still a danger to others. Belle asks, "What do you mean?" Belle and Brady are shocked as Marlena admits she has known Rachel shot EJ for some time. She was with EJ when he remembered the girl had shot him. EJ pushed Kristen to free Johnny, and she confessed to protect Rachel. Brady can't believe Marlena didn't tell him before now. Meanwhile, Tate sits with the sleeping Rachel and promises to take good care of s'mores for her. He also brought her a stuffed snake, Seymour too, to keep her company. It was supposed to be her Christmas gift, but he figured she needed him now. Roman finds Kate setting the family's table at the pub. They discuss what they're thankful for, and Roman says she's at the top of his list. She says, "Back at ya!" Outside, Steve and Kayla have just come from deliveries to surprise less fortunate families with food and gifts. It's an annual tradition of theirs. They count their blessings and kiss. Steve and Kayla head in and chit-chat with Roman and Kate about Marlena and Sarah, who should be heading home today. They soon break out some wine and discuss the DeMera's unhappy Thanksgiving, what with Tony missing and Kristen on the run. Alex and Stephanie finally arrive, and Alex manages to pull Steve aside. He gives him the uncomfortable fan letter and asks Steve to look into it, which Patch says he will. The family all chats about members who aren't there, like Johnny and Chanel. Kayla and Steve make it a point to note that, unlike Roman and Kate, they have no grandchildren. Yet. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for the week of December 1st suggest some twists. For one thing, Jack Devereaux bonds with Thomas DeMera. Tony DeMera and Kristen DeMera get free. Plus, Gwen Rizchek von Leuschner reconnects with Xander Cook Kyriakis. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with Thomas, who is acting like a brat. While it's understandable he's angry with his father, he has also taken multiple incidents out of context. Plus, as a grown man, Chad DeMera really can be friends with and date whoever he wants. Jennifer Horton Devereaux, giving in to Thomas's temper tantrum, isn't really teaching him anything good. Jack supports Jennifer. The man believes that Jennifer is doing what Abigail DeMera would have wanted. I'm not sure if I agree with that, but okay, Jen. Next week, expect Jack to give some advice to Thomas. The little boy reluctantly agrees that Chad could come for Thanksgiving, but refuses to sit next to him. As for the custody case, Kat Green has a proposition. The blonde meets with Jennifer to offer her a deal. Kat doesn't want Chad losing his kids because of her. So, could she offer to move out of Salem if Chad can keep custody of his children? Kat will also trigger E.J. DiMera's memory. However, how will the man react to Kat being the one who read to him while in that overseas clinic? Days of Our Lives, spoilers for next week, reveal that Gwen will take pity on Xander. The woman will know that Xander is alone for Thanksgiving, and so is she. While Xander wanted to dine with Philip Kiriakis, he already accepted Gabby Hernandez's invite. Xander tried to play it cool, but he's all alone for Thanksgiving. So, will Xander accept Gwen's invitation? Will there be a romantic reconnection between these two? Fans will also see EJ and Theo Carver form an alliance. However, later in the week, Gabby warns Theo about EJ. Belle Black asks for Paulina Price's support. Marlena Evans opens up to Leo Stark. Personally, I just love their odd little friendship. Sophia Choi shocks Rachel Black. Maybe the college student is just faking being frozen. The two do share a bond, but I'm not sure if this is such a good idea. Steve Johnson comes between Stephanie Johnson's romance with Alex Kiriakis. Also, Kristen and Tony update Chad, so that means they must find a way to escape. However, Charlotte DiMera wants nothing more than for her daddy to come back home where he belongs. Jennifer is trying to take the kids to Boston. Will Charlotte refuse to go with her grandmother? Charlotte has been with her father a lot more than she has with her mother in her short life. Charlotte doesn't like to be separated from Chad and wants nothing more than for him to come back to the Horton house where they have all been staying. Charlotte doesn't know yet that her grandmother is trying to take her away from him. Thomas DiMera is mad at his father over his relationship with Kat Green. Thomas is older and is upset after Rachel Black told him about Kat pretending to be his dead mother. Thomas refuses to have anything to do with his dad until Kat is gone. Thomas has made it clear that he doesn't want to stay with his father. Thomas wants to go home with Jennifer instead of staying home and working through his issues. Thomas has been very demanding, and Jennifer is giving in to his every whim. However, Charlotte likes Kat and isn't about to turn against her for something she doesn't understand. Just because Thomas wants to move to Boston does not mean that Charlotte wants to do the same. Charlotte may want to stay in Salem with her daddy, where she belongs. Will Charlotte refuse to go with Jennifer to Boston and want to stay with her dad? Will Chad go to Boston to be close to his kids if Jennifer gets custody of them? Chad is not the one who has endangered his children. Thomas was in Jennifer's care when he ran out in front of the car in the square. Perhaps Jennifer and Julie Williams should stop trying to dictate who Chad can and cannot date. Chad is the father of those children, and he should be able to date if he wants. Chad hasn't forced his children to be near Kat. Chad has never acted as though his kids need to be in contact with Kat or respect her. Chad has certainly not tried to make Kat a mother figure to them. Jennifer is overstepping, and Charlotte just may call her out on that. How would the Hortons handle Charlotte refusing to turn against her dad and demand to stay in Salem with him? Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for Thursday, November 27th indicate some major moments in Salem. A father and brother aim to protect, while someone worries their loved one is in danger. Plus, there's a Thanksgiving surprise for a character who's struggling. Find out what's set to unravel on Thursday's show below. Days of Our Lives, spoilers for Thursday, November 27th, reveal that Brady Black and Tate Black will keep a close eye on Rachel Black. The young girl needs help after not only trying to trigger a severe allergic reaction in Sarah Horton, but Rachel also admitted to shooting her uncle E.J. DiMera. The child is headed to Bayview, but until she gets there, the father and son need to ensure she doesn't do any more harm to anyone else or herself. Will Rachel finally get the help she needs? Here's hoping so. Read this. General Hospital, Alum Wes Ramsey heads to Days of Our Lives, another soap role for ex-Peter August. Across town, Alex Kiriakis will worry that Stephanie Johnson is in danger. He's not wrong to be concerned, and any fans who have watched the Days extended winter preview know that Stephanie will be kidnapped by someone unknown. Still, will Steph fluff off her boyfriend's concerns, or will she heed them? She'll likely fluff them off. which is why she'll land in the situation she's going to be in very soon. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Thursday reveal that Belle Black will surprise Marlena Evans. As her mom is still in the hospital during Thanksgiving, it looks like the daughter will bring the holiday to her. This is also Marlena's first Thanksgiving without John Black, so it's nice that Belle is doing something special. Plus, the Brady family gathers at the Brady pub to count their blessings and celebrate Thanksgiving together. What storyline are you most looking forward to during Thursday's show? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to check back with Soap Opera Spy for all the latest Days of Our Lives spoilers, news, rumors, comings and goings, and updates. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, November 28th finish off a festive holiday week with some major celebrations and an even bigger revelation. Kristen and Tony have been spending their downtime while locked in a crypt, reliving the bad old days of being a DiMera and speculating about who might have locked them up there. Vivian popped up as a popular option, but she likes to bury people alive without food and water, so they decided it couldn't be her. Well, it's time for them to find out who exactly it is. And yes, it's a member of the family, all right. Chad is a DiMera, but he's pretty much aligned himself with the Hortons ever since he married Abigail. But it's lining up to be a pretty uncomfortable Thanksgiving this year, since Jennifer has announced her plans to sue Chad for custody of Thomas and Charlotte. And poor Julie gets stuck in the middle. You know, it's her first Thanksgiving without Doug. Maybe put your own issues on the back burner for a few hours, young people. Leo says, "I love you" to Javi with dessert, while Gabby says, "I kind of sort of like you" to Philip with an invitation to break bread with the Hernandez family. Now that they've gone public with their relationship, what will Salem have to say about Fabi, Gableb, Gapi? Days of Our Lives spoilers photos for the November 28th, 2025 episode tease two very different Thanksgivings for the Hortons and the DiMeras. While the DiMeras have the kind of family Thanksgiving only they can, the Hortons remember Doug 1 year after his passing. Kristen and Tony are still stuck in the crypt. A knocked-out Chad is brought to the crypt. Julie and Jack remember Doug and last Thanksgiving. The Hortons notice Chad is missing from Thanksgiving dinner. Here are your Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, November 28th, 2025. Jennifer planned a perfect Thanksgiving for her family in her family home, but the day is anything but perfect as Julie misses her husband and her granddaughter misses her dad. It is a year since Doug Williams passed on Thanksgiving when Jack went upstairs to get him for dinner and found he had died in his sleep. Jack is back in Salem to join his family for Thanksgiving, but he can see there is tension. Jennifer is still determined to fight for custody of Thomas and Charlotte, but feels torn when Charlotte tells her that her fondest wish is that her daddy comes for dinner. Chad felt he had to walk away from his kids and his home for a while, so he took off with a bag. Julie did invite him for dinner, but he never responded, which could just confirm to Jennifer that her custody shoot is the right decision. She can't believe that Chad would ignore his own children on such a big holiday. But that's not at all what he has done. Tony and Kristen try to make the best of things in the DiMera crypt. Do they even know it's the holiday? Will their captor provide them with a makeshift Thanksgiving meal that's better than peanut butter crackers and bottled water? Perhaps, but their captor also brings them a guest. The next DiMera to find himself in the DiMera crypt is Chad, a man who just wanted to spend the holiday with his kids and is not happy about this inconvenience. It's clear to the DiMera siblings that someone is trying to gather Estefano's children in one weird place. Who will join them next? And who could be behind this latest mystery? This is clearly part of Dr. Rolf's resurrection plan. But does EJ know what Rolf is up to? Did he kidnap his own siblings and place them in a crypt? Check to Days of Our Lives. Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. Yes, Dr. Marlena Evans is Days of Our Lives. She is the ultimate soap heroine, having been through kidnappings, presumed deaths, heartache, and loss more times than we can count. But even heroines make mistakes. Marlena made a big one when she chose not to tell Brady that his little girl had shot her uncle EJ DiMera. When Brady learned that Marlena had known the truth for months, he was furious, and rightfully so. Rachel had no parents around who were prepared to help her. Brady was left in the dark, and Kristen confessed so that Rachel wouldn't have to face the truth of what happened. Marlena knew Rachel would remember shooting EJ eventually. She just thought she would be there for her when it happened. Instead, she was having pacemaker surgery, and Brady had to handle the shock on his own. He even tried to protect Marlena by not telling her what Rachel had remembered, which made the surprise of learning Marlena had known all along all the more painful. Brady had 3 major shocks in one day. First, he discovered his daughter was a would-be killer twice over, and then he learned that his mother had known and not told him. While we expect Brady to get over things quickly and forgive Marlena, his initial reaction was spot on. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full duel recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not. Seriously, do not! Forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. Here is your Days of Our Lives recap for Thursday, November 27th, 2025. Tate was relieved when Brady walked in the front door. He hadn't come home the night before, nor was he answering his calls. Brady explained that his phone had died at the hospital before telling Tate the news about Rachel. Tate was devastated to learn that his sister was in a psychiatric ward, but he wanted to go see her. Tate got a bag ready for Rachel with some of her favorite things. Brady informed Tate that Marlena didn't know about Rachel, and they weren't going to tell her just yet. They would just tell Marlena that Rachel was not feeling well if Marlena asked. Steve glanced at it and wasn't concerned. But Alex asked him to figure out who sent it. Later, Steve and Kayla bragged about their trivia skills. They also discussed Johnny and Chanel's adoption. Steve congratulated Kate and Roman on a new great-grandchild, while Kayla made a remark that they wouldn't know about grandparenthood. Alex and Stephanie immediately felt uncomfortable. Days of Our Lives draws to a close for 2025, and we want to look at some of the messiest couples of the year. These are really bad romances that we saw this year. We're going to count down from the number 5 bad romance all the way to number 1, the very worst pairing of the year on the Peacock soap. All right, the couple that ranked number 5 on our bad romance list of 2025 is Jada Hunter and Rafe Hernandez. We knew Jada and Rafe were doomed. That poor man cannot keep a long-term relationship, usually through no fault of his own. He is smart, he's hunky, he's handsome. It never works out for him. Jada and Rafe found love at work, and things were great for a while. Even though, of course, she got his job. But when Arnold Finnegar strolled back into Salem to blackmail EJ DiMera after years of being presumed dead, everything went off the rails for Jada and Rafe. Arnold took Rafe's place while EJ held Rafe captive. Long story short, Arnold pretended to be Rafe. He broke Jada's heart and almost got her fired as part of his plotting with EJ. But even after Rafe was rescued, it was too late. The damage was done. It didn't help that, in the interim, Jada slept with Sean Brady. She had to confess that. Rafe forgave Jada, but she found out Rafe slept with his ex-wife, Sammy Brady. They just couldn't move past their mutual infidelities. Rafe tried again with Sammy off-screen, but it fizzled. Jada is out there right now looking for love. All right, the next bad romance, number 4 on our list, is a pairing that involves Brady Black. This man has a taste for toxic women and so many bad romances in his past. Another bad girl he got involved with, even though she was semi-redeemed, was Ava Vitale. They started up in 2024, but it lasted and carried over into 2025. So that's why we're including it this year. Their relationship began on a platonic note in late 2024. They were unlikely allies against hillbilly criminal Clyde Weston. Then sparks began flying for Ava and Brady. That was fine, but they had a heck of a time going on a real date, or even exploring the romance because of Brady's toxic daughter, Rachel Black, and her non-stop pranks. In early 2025, the romance between Ava and Brady finally blossomed. They got intimate and declared mutual feelings for each other. However, Rachel never stops meddling. She harassed Ava with terrible texts. Eventually, Rachel lured Ava. There, Rachel and her crazy namesake grandma, Rachel Blake, actually held Ava captive. Brady thought Ava left town to see her son Trip in Africa. Later, Stephen Brady figured out she didn't go to the other continent. With Rachel being so psycho, Ava decided to walk away. She decided the romance with Brady was too toxic because of his toxic little daughter. And that was quite accurate. It was a bad romance. Next on our list, the number 3 terrible romance of 2025, EJ Dimera and Belle Black. I actually liked EJ and Belle together, but it turned out really bad. They had a one-night stand back in 2022, but then Martha Madison was part of that mass upheaval where they took out a lot of actresses on days. She got severely blackballed and decided to walk away. Fast forward. The bad producer was gone, and a lot of women came back. On New Year's Eve 2024, EJ invited Belle to be his date for a Dimera New Year's party. In early 2025, after EJ drove Belle home from Jada's bachelorette party, their chemistry reignited. EJ and Belle kept their relationship secret at first, even when they started hitting the sheets, but EJ's shady dealings made Belle take a step back. It was like one step forward, one step back. Then EJ got shot and went into a coma. He was fighting for his life. That's when Belle finally confessed and told EJ she loved him while he was in a coma. His mom, Susan Banks, overheard Belle and encouraged her to tell EJ that she loved him once he woke up. But Belle's sister Sammy also overheard and was very nasty to Belle about getting involved with EJ. Belle and EJ both admitted they'd fallen in love and took their romance public. When Johnny was on trial for shooting EJ, EJ tried to use their relationship as a tactic to get a mistrial. He accused Belle of bias because she was involved with him. Belle dumped EJ on the spot right there in court. It didn't help Johnny at all. It was a very toxic ending to a very awkward romance. All right, the second to last on our list, the second worst romance of 2025, is Chad Dimera and Kat Green. After Chad forgave Kat for posing as his dead wife Abigail Devereaux, he and Kat became friends. But she already had feelings for Chad. She was getting feelings all the while she was conning him. He grew feelings too, but Chad really tried to fight them. Kat and Chad finally got intimate. Almost immediately, Rachel Black told her cousin Thomas Dimera that she'd seen Chad kissing Kat. Rachel also told Thomas that Kat had been pretending to be his dead mom Abigail. Thomas freaked out, and so did Jennifer Horton, who despises Kat for pretending to be Abigail. Chad was pressured, and he called things off with Kat because of his family. Her Abigail scheme was a deal-breaker for the Hortons. She and Chad can't overcome these obstacles. I still think Kat and Chad may have some potential, but right now things are too toxic between them with Thomas running interference and Jennifer ready to take custody of Chad's kids. Plus, Kat is being drawn to EJ. It looks like her bad romance with Chad is done, at least for now. Finally, our number 1 worst couple of 2025 on Days of Our Lives was one that didn't last long, but was truly awful. The ripple effects of their pairing are still happening. We're talking about Sophia Choi and Tate Black. Sophia had been crushing on Tate for a while, but he was crushing on Holly Jonas. Sophia jumped at the chance to jump into bed with Tate. She got pregnant. That led to Sophia giving birth alone, dumping the baby at the fire station, and falsifying an adoption. Tate was so tormented by her lies and lack of closure on the baby. It was causing a lot of problems in his life. Then he found out Sophia didn't even realize that he might not be the dad. It turned out Aaron Green was the father. Aaron had a thing for Sophia. They had a Netflix and chill day watching that soap opera, The One Day, and apparently were not very careful. Sophia was desperate to keep Tate away from Holly and caused trouble for them even up until a couple of weeks ago. Sophia took naughty pictures of Holly and texted them to Johnny Dimera. Then she sent a fax saying Johnny was sleeping with his students. This romance was toxic because Tate never really wanted to be with Sophia. She lured him when he was at a low point and got him into bed. Tate never loved Sophia. He didn't really ever like her as more than a friend, but she was obsessed with Tate. That's why she's in Bayview now. I don't know if her troublemaking is done. The Days of Our Lives cast did it again. Keeping the fun behind-the-scenes content coming, the official show Instagram page just unveiled a new reel where several cast members were asked to choose at least 3 co-stars they'd invite to Thanksgiving dinner, and some of their answers might surprise you. Kicking things off was Paul Telfer, who said he'd invite Suzanne, Lindsay, and Stacy. His reason? They all eat tiny, tiny amounts of food, and of course, he was only joking. Next up was Abigail Klein. Her Thanksgiving trio included Mary Beth, because she could cook all the treats and bake all the cookies, plus JP and Rob. Then we moved over to Martha Madison, who revealed she already has a Thanksgiving invite list. Tina Huang, Deidre Hall, Emily O'Brien, and her fiancé, of course. Lindsay Godfrey followed with a clever workaround. She said she'd strategically stack all the women from the show on 3 chairs so she wouldn't have to pick favorites, because choosing between them would be like picking her favorite child, and she only has one. She insisted there are simply too many amazing women on the show to choose just 3. Newest cast addition, Connor Floyd, kept it simple: Dan, Eric, and Brandon Beamer, because he feels like getting into a little trouble. As for Cherie Jimenez, she went straight for the Hernandez clan: Al, Galen, and Marissa. Sal Stowers couldn't keep her list to 3 even if she tried. She kicked off with Marcy Miller, then added Stacey Hayduck, Lindsay Godfrey, her girl Heather, Raven, Elia, Jackie, Annalyn, Cherie, Mary Beth. Basically all the ladies. She summed it up perfectly. A girls' Thanksgiving would be fun. Tyler Joseph Andrews kept things straightforward with his choices: James, Dan, and Casey. Greg Rickhart gave us the Gossip Squad, listing Emily O'Brien, Jackie, Deidre, and Peter Porte, saying they'd just gossip dish all night.